Good morning, everybody, and thank you so much for joining us for the Masters in Music, Music and Entertainment Industries webinar for William Paterson University. I want to start off by letting you know that we are joined here by Dr. Marcone and Dr. Philp from the program themselves, and they will be going through the entire process, whether it be admissions and some of the highlights of the program that we have today. The other thing, some housekeeping items, just want to let you know that we do have a general open house Sunday, November 4th from 1 to 3 p.m. Detailed information can be found on our website if you would like to go in and register and meet some of the program directors at that time. Another thing I want to let you know is that we are going to be recording this event, and about a week after the event takes place, we will be uploading it to our YouTube channel. So if for some reason you needed to leave early and or did not have an opportunity to hear the program itself, you will have another opportunity within the week. So without further ado, I do want to get started. I'm going to pass it over to Dr. Marcone and Dr. Philp.
All right. Hello.
Yes, we are here.
We are here.
And we are members of the faculty at the William Paterson University Music and Entertainment Industries program. And we're going to talk today about the Master of Music and Music and Entertainment Industries.
But first, who are you, sir?
And I am Program Director, Dr. Stephen Marcone. I'm here with my colleague,
Professor David Kirk Philp, spelled with a P-H-I, then an L and a P.
No F.
Please, leave the last F off for savings.
All right. Okay. So we have actually a university that's been established as a music business center, music business education center for over 30 years. And we're going to tell you today why, and we're also going to give you some insight into the Master of Music program.
On the cover page, what you see here is a picture. We went last summer to Nashville, Tennessee, which is the volunteer state, and we asked you to volunteer to come out and spend time with us here at William Paterson University. And this guy right here, that's Scooter Braun. He's arguably, but you shouldn't argue with us, the most powerful and most recognized and most beloved music manager and entertainment, actually, in the music and entertainment industry right now. He produces films, he produces TV shows, he manages
Ariana Grande,
Justin Bieber.
Yes, and Kanye West sometimes.
Yes, Kanye West. That's right. Who's a fun person, great personality. He'll be on the webinar in about 10 minutes.
Wow.
Yes, so we're excited about that. So that we want to just see we're there. Those are our students. That's Scooter Braun. He came out, spent over an hour with us. You can listen to the podcast. Go to SoundCloud, Music Biz 101 and more. Slide number 2, Dr. Esteban Marcone.
Boy, what is that? God, it looks like a university.
It is.
About this time of year, too.
It's William Paterson University.
And how far are we from New York?
I would say 20 miles as the crow flies.
And how big are we? How many acres?
We're over 350, aren't we?
I think we're up to about 500 acres now, actually.
So I was right.
Yes.
It doesn't make me wrong.
Right. So just you understand, it's not an urban setting. Yeah. Even though we're 20 miles from New York City, it is very much a bucolic setting in suburban Wayne.
We have turkeys. Every once in a while, there's a bear scare.
Yes.
And it's
deer, of course, all the time.
Plenty of deer, groundhogs,
yes.
Geese. There's plenty of what geese leave behind.
And I had actually this morning in my office a stink bug.
See, so we have it all at William Paterson.
Yes.
But we're so close to New York City. It's awesome to come to our Music and Entertainment Industries program because we are so close to New York. Right. You can get your internship, you can get your job. There's a bus that leaves right from center of campus right to New York City.
Correct. And we get, that's why we have such great access to the music industry personnel too. And they are always visiting, as you will see in a couple of slides.
Yes.
And you said we were 20 miles from New York City. Would you go back one slide?
I'd love to.
That isn't pollution, is that the?
That is not. Those are clouds.
Oh, okay.
Those are cumulus clouds. I would venture to say. And those listening, if you believe those are stratus clouds, please reply and correct us. This is big deal. This is a big deal, isn't it?
Very big deal. Twice in 4 years now.
We have been we have been bequeathed by Billboard magazine, which is the trade magazine for the music and entertainment industry, as one of the top music business programs in the United States of America.
Yes.
And you're going to see as the slides go on why that is. This again is a picture of us with students from last May when we went out to Nashville for that Music Biz conference.
Oh, yes.
And you see Philp and Marcone in there with undergraduate and graduate students who went out. And we had actually a summer class where we interviewed music industry personnel for our radio show, which we'll get into in a bit. But the students booked the interviews, did the research for the interviews, led the interviews along with us. We recorded the interviews in Nashville. Then when we got home, the students produced the interviews, uploaded them to SoundCloud, which put it automatically onto iTunes, created web pages around each interview, and it became a podcast. Then over the summer, they were broadcast on Brave New Radio, the #1 college radio station in America.
Yes, it just received a very distinguished award, the
Marcone Award.
My award, yes.
That's right, the Dr. Esteban Marcone Award.
All alone, I voted them in.
You're very this man on my right and your left, listeners, is the most powerful man in music and entertainment education in the United States of America and almost North America, but Canada we're fighting with. Shall we continue?
Carry on. Yes. Well, we just want you to, one slide to show you this is not a very tiny little service department, but it is a legitimate, accredited by the National Association of Schools of Music, music department, and we have, as we see, 7 undergraduate degrees and 4 graduate degrees, of course, with the music, Master of Music and Music and Entertainment Industries is one of them.
We're not going to read this to you.
No, it takes too long.
So when you watch the recording, you can read the whole thing. Basically, it's an overview, just stating how strong the program is, pretty much all the stuff that we've said and that we're going to say.
Yeah, and why we consider ourselves a center for music industry education.
And classes do include entertainment law. Actually, we're going to get to the classes in a sec because that had. But here's a few more highlights of the program.
Yes, and we can say again that these highlights are, you know, something that has been developed over the course of the 30 years, so that we actually really are looked upon as one of the best places to study the music business.
And that's what Billboard agreed with. And a lot of these highlights and more are the reasons why Billboard said we're one of the best in the country for both undergrad and graduate. And you can see everything from lecture series. We have a number of industry heavyweights come to campus. We'll go to visit the industry heavyweights. We mentioned Nashville. We have a relationship with the Warner Music Group. So each year we've been going to the Warner Music Group in New York City, bringing all of our master's degree students in the music and entertainment industries to Warner Music Group, where we spend a day having executives come and speak with us. We also will have internship opportunities. We have info sessions. They take a look at your resumes. They'll do some critiques of the resumes. We've had some quickie sort of speed interviews with personnel at Warner. So the idea is you want a job in the industry when you get out, and our job for you is to create an atmosphere and a curriculum and opportunity for you to have that. Ultimately, it's up to you because you're the one who has to make it all happen, but we're trying to give you all the tools necessary to make it happen. Next slide, yes. Next slide, yes.
Just the building and the buildings. So the music department is in actually 4 different buildings on campus, but these main buildings are Shea Center, which is, of course, where music is made and music is performed, and then Hunsicker Hall, which was just renovated, opened up this last month in September, and that's where the classrooms are.
And we also teach, we have a whole brand new building called University Hall, where actually you and I teach most of our classes now.
Right.
Big, fancy glass, pretty building, $100 million. No retractable roof, but it's very nice. And we wanted to show some pictures because we also, the picture at the bottom left is us at the radio station. With that man in the upper left is John Boulos, who was our visiting resident expert from Atlantic Records last academic year, 2017, 2018.
Correct.
And in the upper left corner, that is the Marcone Award.
Ah,
That is the actual Marcone Award.
well,
With an
incorrect.
I. Yes, spelled incorrectly, unlike our Dr. Esteban Marcone, who you can't tell, but the shirt he is wearing in that picture is the shirt he is wearing right
God,
now.
the one shirt I own that's clean.
You don't change, do you? He's never changed, this man. What a wonderful person. So we're moving on. By the way, all our students have blue hair.
Yes,
Moving on.
That's how we know. Okay, so there's a degree program. It's 36 credits. And there are actually 3 courses at the top that all graduate students take in the music department. Then there's your major concentration, which is first an introduction to the industry. Then you have law. Then you have an entrepreneur course, which is actually combined with the jazz graduate students take that course as well. And it's project oriented for you to really get some entrepreneurship chops under your belt. The current state of the music and entertainment industry is a music management seminar. We bring in 5 heavyweights every spring, and they lecture, and then you get a chance to meet them and exchange business cards and emails and so on and so forth. Then if you must do 1 internship. Anyone who wants to do an internship in New York City gets an internship in New York City, but people also do more than 1, although only 1 is required. And music electives, you could actually then do another internship if you want. And this program requires a master's thesis. So you will be writing, a fairly lengthy master's project that will be published in the organization out of University of Michigan. I'm drawing a blank right now. And then you have your college of the Kostakis College of Business courses, and you have 6 credits required, and then another 6 credits of electives. And that's it, 36 credits.
A couple photos of people coming into the program in the upper left. Those are master's degree students from last year, 2017, 2018. Lower right-hand corner of that picture in the upper left, that's Dominique Taylor. But next to her is a guy named Austin Rice, who is an A&R for Atlantic Records. And next to him is a man with a thumbs up. That's Paul Sinclair, who's a big VP of digital and marketing at Atlantic Records. And they both came in and talked to us about influencer marketing and analytics in the music and entertainment industry. And then the picture in the bottom right, if you see the man in the sort of right side of the screen, tallest man, he's actually the tallest man in America. We measured him. His name is Dave Laurie, and he used to manage Greg Allman. He's managed Courtney Love. He managed this person in the picture, Jeff Buckley. And Dave wrote a book about his time managing Jeff Buckley, and came in and had a class here work with him to market the book. And he's currently actually doing a book tour. It's actually a world tour.
Yes.
Around this book, all around Europe and I think Australia, United States. That's enough to say world tour.
Right, and the person in the picture all the way on your top left, all the way to the left, is a person that actually had the longest arm, so we allowed him in the picture to take the selfie of the group.
Otherwise, that really good-looking person would not be allowed in the picture, but the prerequisite for him was to have a long arm, and we measured.
Yes.
Faculty, we have faculty.
Yes, we do.
People work here.
And the interesting part of this faculty is that many of them, the adjuncts especially, are creating stories in Billboard magazine. They are in the middle of the industry. For instance, Steve Leeds, who is the Vice President of Talent Industries Affairs at Sirius, and just pick another one, Aaron Van Dyne right under him, is the business manager for those people that you see there. And that's why we have the benefit, well, that's because we have the benefit of being 20 miles from New York City. That's why we can have these people come and teach with us.
And this is a picture of, there's Philp, far left, Marcone, bottom, and then that's Professor Aaron Van Dyne on the right. Again, business manager for kids, 3 doors down, Dave Matthews, and that's George Dassinger between Marcone Award and myself. And in this picture, you see in the far left Steve Leeds, who actually, if you looked around or went on LinkedIn or you asked people in the industry, Steve Leeds is a legend.
Yes,
he knows
is.
everybody who has ever been born and been in the music and entertainment industry. He's a big VP at Sirius XM Radio. He's the person who leads that, what do you call it, state of the music and entertainment industry? That's the music man.
Current state.
Current state, not the past state. We're talking about the current state.
Correct.
Music and entertainment industry. And he brings them these heavyweights and interviews them in the spring semester. And at one point, you had a sore little wing, didn't you?
I broke my wrist.
Are you okay now?
I hope so.
Okay. We really.
We probably will change that picture.
I know. Or we won't. Talk about this. This is cool.
Yes. Each year for the past now 10 years, we've had visiting resident, or what we call visiting resident music and entertainment industry experts. And this year, 2018-19, we have Mark Robinson, who is the Senior Vice President of Legal and Business Affairs at 300 Entertainment. And the idea here is to have one person that comes in all the entire academic year and teaches actually courses, teaches classes in the courses from freshman through the master's program. And it's a little different than just coming in and saying, hey, what do you guys want to know? We actually give this person the curriculum, and they choose the subject they want to talk about, and they come in and they talk. And each one of these has done an excellent job. And we have had Mark Robinson in once already this fall, and he's coming in next Monday night to talk to the graduate students.
In fact, we're combining a Tuesday night graduate class with a Monday night class on Monday. And Mark is going to come in and speak with both classes at once. And if you're listening, why don't we invite you to come on in?
Yes, please. Just email us.
Yeah, and we'll give you our contact info at the end. But come on in. It's at 7 p.m. next Monday night, which is October 22nd.
That's correct.
Correct. October 22nd, 7 p.m. on the campus of William Paterson University. And come on down. We will spend a little time with you, and you'll enjoy it. And these are pictures of Mark. On the left, we visited him at 300 Entertainment this past summer. And that's him on the upper right. He's already visited a couple times campus, some classes, and there he's talking about music publishing to one of our undergraduate classes.
Right, September.
Yes, back in September. And that's him with your full class.
Correct.
Yes, look what we did. And I took
right
that picture.
in the middle.
Yes, that's him right in the middle with that hat. And lots of students, they're all happy. Every student here is happy. There's not one student who's ever been unhappy at William Paterson.
And as Professor Philp's arm was not long enough for a selfie in this one.
No, so I decided to take myself out of the picture and focus on the students, which I've never done before.
Correct.
How do you apply, doctor?
Jeez. Well, the little caveat here is there will be actually two applications, one to the university and one to the music department. And that's because we also have our own admissions department for the music department. So we make sure that you don't fall between the cracks when you are when you apply. And if you have a major or a minor in undergraduate degree in music, you need not audition. Okay.
We mentioned earlier our contact information. So at the top, again, we're opening it up to you if you want to come to class Monday night, October 22nd. Send an electronic mail to Dr. Esteban Marcone or myself, Professor David. It should say Kirk, Phil, because that's my middle name for mom and dad. But reach out to us. We also have music admissions. There are graduate admissions who put together this fabulous webinar. They are listening in, so we have to be careful what we say about them. Correct. Because they will immediately cut this off. Big Brother is listening. And those are our social platforms. We're active on Facebook, Twitter, the Instagram, and we have a newsletter, and we're going to tell you where to sign up for that shortly. But I have a question for you, Dr. Esteban Marcone.
Please.
What is the difference between a Master of Music in Music and Entertainment Industries and an MBA in Music and Entertainment Management?
Oh, that's another webinar. We can't do that here.
Forget it. But wait, we do have sort of an answer for you.
Yes, actually, the Master of Music is sort of a mini version of the MBA in Music and Entertainment. It is only 36 credits, versus the 49 credits for the MBA program. And it's simply that the degree is, one is a Master of Music or an MM. And normally students who complete this degree are students that want to be, let's say, university professors in music departments, and they're going on for the doctorate, or they want to be in ethnomusicology or whatever, and they want to continue in the sort of in the vein of having a bachelor's of music, a master of music, then a doctorate in music. The other people, and most people who want to go right into the industry, really take the additional 12 or 13 credits, and they get the MBA, because the MBA is a degree in America that is useful for just about any facet of the business.
Right. And I have an MBA, for example.
Uh-huh.
We have more MBAs in the program. But like we said, you should contact us so we can talk to you more about
Yes.
what makes sense for you personally.
Come out for a visit too.
Yeah, you should. And if you come on out for a visit, for example, come Monday night if you'd like, October 22nd, or on Wednesday nights, we host, you and I co-host, together we host the Music Biz 101 and More radio show /podcast. It's live. Most Wednesday nights it's live, but pretty much every Wednesday night during the year we have a new show. And we record a bunch of them in Nashville to air over the summer. And then we have a guest tonight is a Wednesday, George Gilbert, Esquire, who's an intellectual property attorney. We have actually a couple of grads coming in next week for our show, who are, one works for Columbia Records in the touring division, and one is MBA student, and one is graduate student, and her name is Carrie Keller. And then coming in with her also is Miles Franco, who's another MBA grad student, who is the, what does he do it for with finance?
Finance guy.
He's a finance guy at Ultra Music. And then we have a Grammy winner, Bill Charlap, coming on soon. We have the manager of the band Arizona. His name is Jake Posner. He's coming on soon. We get some real great people. And if you want to listen to these again, go to musicbiz101wp.com and you can find where our podcasts are. And again, we have about 200 up right now on SoundCloud and iTunes. So it's great. And this is the great thing about this podcast, besides something that we can brag about, is it keeps you and I up to date with what's going on. We get to learn. If you think anybody you talk to knows everything about the music and entertainment industry, you are sadly mistaken, because we don't know everything. Nobody knows everything. And the only way to know as much as possible is to keep talking to people and keep learning. And your professors are still learning every day. What's this?
Speaking of learning.
What did we do?
Boy, 6th edition of Managing Your Band. And we co-wrote this edition. And speaking of up to date, there is information in here that people have told us that they could not find anywhere else, especially things like the intricate parts of a 360 recording deal, the idea of the importance of streaming and the importance of just the non-terrestrial performances that are happening with recorded music. And we use terms like ACPU and what else terms that we would say? Well, anyway, those kinds of things. So we have a bunch of people who have read the book and have given us accolades. For instance, at the top right, that's Doc McGee, who is the manager of KISS and formerly Bon Jovi, and just a legend in the business. And in the left there on the cover page, you see Paul Sinclair again, who is head of digital for Atlantic Records.
And if you don't know the difference or need to know the difference, and you should know the difference between things like the performance rights organizations and Sound Exchange, if you don't know how a sync deal works or what a sync deal is, if you're unsure how to make revenue from live performances or what all of the revenue streams are, things like that, if you're unsure how LinkedIn works, how LinkedIn can help you, if you're unsure of all the intermediaries are between the creator of music and the ultimate consumer of music, if you're unsure how today's modern record company is put together from various perspectives, that's all in the book, and that's all stuff that we talk about in the program.
Correct.
And I would say that our curriculum is not it's a fluid curriculum. Would that be the good word? It constantly changes, even during a semester, even from week to week.
It's in flux.
It is constantly in flux. It is disrupted weekly by the stuff going on in the industry. So we might have in a lesson plan or in a what do you call that thing that we put together? A syllabus.
That's right.
Is that Greek or Latin? The word syllabus.
Certainly is.
Yes. It's something you take to get from here to there. A syllabus.
Right.
As what do you call it?
What color is it?
It's a silly color. Yeah. Oh, that's funny. I was going to go the clown route.
Right.
What bus do clowns take? Okay. So our syllabi, which is plural of syllabus, and I'm a college professor, so I know those words, will change. We might say this week we're going to cover this. When we get to that, we don't cover that because something else happened, or because people in class asked a question about something else that totally makes sense. So we're just going to make a left turn and talk about this because it makes more sense, because those are the things that you as a student need to know and want to know to help you get to where you want to be in the music and entertainment industry. Amen.
This isn't Kansas, Dorothy.
It certainly is not.
Okay.
Don't call me Dorothy.
We can't tell you how much this would cost, but we priced it way too reasonably.
Price
way
to move.
Too reasonably.
We lost our
probably
lease.
are the least expensive book in the bookstore.
Yes, especially when it comes to like a textbook.
Yes.
And this doesn't read like a textbook because it's got some funny bits. It's got lots of pictures. No centerfold, but that would have been nice.
Yes.
And then we mentioned the newsletter. And this is where you can go sign up for the newsletter. Every week, you're going to get 2 newsletters from us. You're going to get one Sunday at 6 p.m. And that's going to have updates of what's going on in the industry. It's going to have what's happening now. Now, this newsletter has changed. And I'm writing now like a long weekly blurb about something going on in the industry that's sort of, is that good or bad?
Good.
It's all right?
Yeah.
For example, this week's newsletter was about the band Fleetwood Mac, who's one of the most iconic bands in popular music history. They kicked out their guitarist of 43 years, Lindsey Buckingham, in February, late January. He sued the band a week ago.
Yes, he did.
So got into the whole thing about the lawsuit, about what this means to you as a DIY artist or a DIY artist manager, what this means to the label, and sort of broke that whole thing down as opposed to just, well, that's just nice gossip. Now we said, but here's the business side of it.
Right.
So that's every Sunday at 6.
Without just cause. That's what he said.
That's right.
Fired without just cause.
And he also talked about the fiduciary duty of the band.
Yes.
What is fiduciary duty, Dr. Esteban?
Oh my goodness, on
That's
a webinar.
big. Yes. Here's your lesson.
God, you shouldn't be allowed to say that on a webinar, of course. But supposedly he has lost $14 million in tour revenue. And of course he blames that on the band kicking him out without any just cause. And the fiduciary responsibility would be just that there is money involved and that this is all part of just your ways and means of staying alive and so on.
That's right.
I understand this picture was taken on that same exact day. I have the red shirt.
Marcone, that's right.
You'll never see this red shirt again.
Marcone wears this red long sleeve.
Unbelievable.
It's not even a mock turtle. He couldn't afford the mock.
No.
It's just a long sleeve red shirt that he wears every day.
And to my right is adjunct Alan Cohn.
That's right. To your left, if you're listening
And
to
to
this.
his right is
Giancarlo Cordasco.
who was an undergrad that year. It was 2 years ago, and now is working at RCA Records.
For the co-president of RCA Records, who is a former visiting resident expert, Joe Riccatelli, and an alum of William Paterson University. Over Giancarlo, he's the one in the blue, what do you call that kind of dress shirt? Button-down dress shirt.
Right.
Right over his left shoulder, the woman in the glasses is Joelle Philippi,
Oh, yes.
who was the president of our student organization called MIO, which stands for Music and Entertainment Organization. She's pointing at us because she wants you to know that she also now works at Columbia Records. So there are a number of other people. I can't see everybody. Far right, there's a woman with glasses and a beanie, and she now works for Atlantic Records.
Oh, yeah.
Geneva Gamblin. And she works in the international division of Atlantic Records. And the woman next to her with the red sort of
Thing around her.
what do you call that?
Yes.
A scarf decorative scarf. That's Carrie Keller, who also works for Columbia Records in the touring division, who will be a guest on Music Biz 101 and more on October 24th. Come on in.
Star-studded picture, no question.
There's a lot of stuff in there.
And actually, did they get that person in the right in front of Al Cohn? Is that chair? Did they kill that person?
Because there's just a line of, like a globule on the.
Yeah, they killed him, and somebody had their sights on.
That's right. So
I wonder who that was.
we should give thanks, should we not?
I don't know if we're supposed to stretch or not.
We've gone 32 minutes, almost 33 minutes.
Right.
I can, I can stand up and stretch if you like. No, I've no.
I think we have nothing else to say.
Yeah. Are there any questions for you in the audience? From you. I'm gonna.
Thank you guys. I want to we greatly appreciate the presentation today. It was extremely helpful. At this time, I don't see any questions from anyone, so we are going to go ahead and sign off at this point. Again, their contact information can be found in the presentation if you have any questions moving forward. The presentation, like I said earlier, will be available within the next week or so on our YouTube channel, and anybody who had signed up and needed to leave early or ultimately wasn't able to attend will receive that link. Please feel free to reach out to the Graduate Admissions Office if there are any admissions questions that you may have. And again, I want to thank you all for taking the time out today to be with us, and we look forward to welcoming you on campus. Thank you so much.